Stop everything you are doing right now, and I need your complete attention for what I am about to reveal. I am Krishna, for I speak directly from the center of eternal consciousness to your heart. This is not casual content that you can listen to halfway while browsing on your phone or getting lost in the distractions of the material world. This requires your total presence and absolute focus, because what I discovered about you while I was observing the web of your destiny made me stop for several minutes in absolute silence, contemplating the light you emitted. You recently did something that echoed throughout the cosmos. And I am not talking about something you meticulously planned or something you rehearsed to impress others in the showcase of social life. I am talking about something that sprang so purely and naturally from the depths of your Atman, your eternal soul, that you did not even realize the spiritual earthquake it caused in dimensions that your human eyes cannot yet perceive, and your attitude impressed me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the conductor of all destinies. And it was not a fleeting or superficial impression. It was something so profound that it caused the great devas and celestial hierarchies, those who govern the forces of nature and the cosmos, to stop what they were doing to turn their attention specifically to you. What you demonstrated shouldn't have been possible according to the common laws of this world of illusion. Not from someone who has sailed through the turbulent waters you have, nor from someone who has carried the karmic weight you have endured with such patience. You had every logical reason, every mental and emotional justification to respond with bitterness or to retreat into a wounded ego, but you didn't act as the world expected. Subscribe to this channel right now and activate all notifications, because what I'm going to reveal about the exact moment the universe stopped to observe you will permanently change how you understand every struggle you've faced and every silent battle you've won in the sanctuary of your own heart, without anyone applauding. Stay until the end, because I'm going to show you exactly which movement of your soul caught divine attention. I will explain why the celestial orders have been altered to review your case and what this means for the abundance and peace that are about to flood your existence. Write 777 or the sacred name of Krishna in the comments to seal this pact with the truth. If you have recently felt that something has changed within you, as if you have crossed an invisible line that separates you from who you used to be, let me explain what is happening. In the higher planes, billions of souls are observed in their dance through time. There are beings of light assigned to every detail of your protection and guidance. Most human behavior follows a mechanical and predictable pattern, like the gears of a machine. People react to pain with resentment, respond to betrayal with a desire for revenge, and return injustice with fury. These repetitive patterns chain humanity to the cycle of suffering for millennia. But occasionally, very rarely, a soul demonstrates something so unexpected, something that defies the gravity of the ego, that it creates a moment of ecstasy throughout the spiritual realm, and you have created one of these rare moments. It wasn't long ago. It was during one of your most arduous recent experiences, when you were facing a situation that seemed specifically designed to break you or test the limits of your faith. When the burden seemed impossible to bear for another single dawn, and everyone around you would have understood if you had simply given up, cursed your fate, or responded with the same darkness that was being projected against you. But you did something different, and that's where the secret lies. I'm not talking about just surviving, because many survive out of mere inertia or lack of alternatives, and surviving doesn't attract the gaze of the gods. What you did was an act of transcendence. You were in a scenario where you had every right to be cruel, every justification to indulge in resentment, and every reason to let hatred consume your peace. The pain they inflicted on you was real. It wasn't a figment of your imagination. It was an open wound caused by specific and difficult circumstances. At the exact moment when your lower nature screamed for you to retaliate, when every cell in your body begged for justice or a poison-laden separation, something deeper within you, the divine spark I inhabit, made a conscious choice for the light. You chose grace and serenity when you had earned the right to choose destruction. Perhaps it was that conversation where you remained silent instead of humiliating, or that opportunity to expose someone who had wronged you, but you preferred to protect the dignity of others. It may have been that moment when you decided to continue loving and serving, despite not being recognized. That instant, that tiny point in time where you acted against the laws of human reactivity, was when the entire heavens fell silent to watch you. You proved that you are not a plaything of circumstances and that your character does not depend on how the world treats you. You demonstrated that you are being anchored in the eternal and not in the fluctuations of matter. Therefore, the angels who guard you signaled to the higher powers that you are no longer an ordinary soul following the herd, but a chosen one ready to receive the keys to a new destiny, where karma dissolves into devotion and struggle transforms into divine victory. My beloved children, this attitude of yours deeply touched my heart and truly impressed me. In a world marked by pain, haste, and greed that blinds souls, you chose a higher path. While many get lost in the relentless pursuit of possessions, power, and recognition, you were able to see beyond appearances and understand that all material vanity is fleeting, fragile as the mist that dissipates at sunrise. You understood an essential lesson. Nothing this world offers can fill the void that only the spirit can satisfy. Riches fade, applause falls silent, titles crumble with time, but what is built within the soul remains. And you, my son, chose to build yourself up from within, strengthening your heart with discernment, humility, and truth. Even more, you surprised me by forgiving those who hurt you. Many believe that forgiveness is a sign of weakness, but you have already understood that it is an expression of greatness. To forgive is not to forget the pain, but to free oneself from it. It is to break the chains that bind the heart to the past and allow peace to dwell within you again. When you forgive, you not only absolve the other, but you heal yourself. You know your potential, even when the world tries to diminish it or when the words of others try to confuse your essence. Within you exists a silent strength, a light that does not depend on external approval to shine. You have learned not to react with hatred, not to return aggression, not to allow bitterness to find a home in your spirit. This is true victory. Stay strong, my child. Do not allow the illusion of the world to lead you astray. Keep your heart detached, your mind clear, and your actions aligned with truth. Always remember, he who masters himself is more powerful than he who conquers 1,000 external battles. You are learning to govern your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices, and this leads you to inner freedom. Trust in the process of life, for nothing you have lived has been in vain. Every pain has taught you, every loss has strengthened you, every forgiveness has elevated you. Walk with serenity, knowing that he who lives according to Dharma never walks alone. I am with you every step of the way, gently guiding you so that you may fulfill your purpose with awareness, courage, and love. My dear children, allow me to speak even more to your hearts, for there is much that needs to be remembered in this time when souls are weary and confused. I observe your every step, every silence, every choice made when no one is watching. And it was precisely in those hidden moments, far from the applause of the world, that you revealed who you truly are. You were not guided by pride, nor by revenge, nor by the desire to prove something to someone. You were guided by conscience, and that is rare in this restless world. You live surrounded by voices that promise quick happiness, immediate success, and limitless pleasure. But these voices do not lead to peace. They only fuel restlessness. You, however, have begun to realize that the more man clings to what is external, the further he becomes from himself. You understood that excess weighs heavily, that unbridled ambition enslaves, and that true value lies not in what is displayed, but in what is cultivated in silence. When you chose to relinquish vanity, you made a gesture of great wisdom. Not because the world is inherently evil, but because it is transient. Everything born in time is destined to transform. Bodies age, possessions are lost, positions crumble. Only awakened consciousness remains, and you began to nourish that consciousness with simple, yet profound actions aligned with that which is eternal. I also see your inner struggles, those that no one knows. I see the nights when your heart is heavy, the moments when memory tries to bring back the pain, the words that still echo within you. Even so, you chose not to let that define you. You chose forgiveness. And forgiveness, my son, is not an isolated act. It is a path. It is a daily decision not to allow the wound to govern your life. By forgiving, you broke an old cycle. He who wounds is usually wounded himself, and he who returns pain perpetuates suffering. You have chosen to break this chain. This demonstrates spiritual maturity. It shows that you no longer act on impulse, but on understanding. Forgiveness does not erase learning, but transforms pain into wisdom. Recognize, my son, the strength that exists within you. Not the strength that shouts, but the strength that remains firm. Not the strength that dominates others, but the strength that governs itself. This strength is born from self-knowledge. The more you observe yourself, the more you free yourself from illusions. The more you understand yourself, the less you need the validation of others. Always remember, you are not your faults, nor your mistakes, nor the labels imposed upon you. You are the consciousness that observes all of this. You are greater than circumstances, greater than fear, greater than the past. When you act in alignment with this truth, even difficulties become teachers and not enemies. Continue walking with balance. Do not let yourself be hardened by pain, nor lose yourself in pleasures. The middle path is the path of clarity. Act with righteousness, speak with truth, cultivate compassion, and keep your mind awake. Each conscious choice brings you closer to your essence and distances you from the illusions that imprison so many. When the world seems confusing, turn inward. When external noise tries to distract you, listen to the silence. When doubt arises, remember who you are and what you have already overcome. I dwell in that consciousness that awakens within you. I am not distant nor separate. I am present in every act done with truth, in every sincere forgiveness, in every renunciation that is born of love and not fear. Trust, my child. The path you have chosen is demanding, but liberating. Few have the courage to walk with a clean heart in a hardened world. But those who persevere find a peace that nothing can steal. And this peace, when it is born, becomes light not only for you, but for all who cross your path. The world in which you live is enveloped in chaos, confusion, and lies. Truths are distorted, values are inverted, and many walk without realizing they are distancing themselves from themselves. Amidst this constant noise, I ask you for firmness of spirit and clarity of conscience. I see how many believe that happiness resides in the accumulation of possessions, in the glitter of appearances, and in the immediate satisfaction of desires. They seek in lust, power, and recognition that which will never be found there. The more they chase these illusions, the emptier they become. For that which is material has no root in eternity. It is born today and tomorrow it is already undone. Everything that depends on time is condemned to pass. From the beginning, I have made it clear in my teachings that nothing external can sustain inner peace. The body ages, pleasures fade, possessions change hands. Only that which is cultivated in consciousness remains. He who relies only on the external world lives in fear of losing. He who anchors himself in the spirit walks in freedom. Be brave enough not to follow the crowd when it goes astray. Be strong enough to say no when the world invites you to betray your own values. It is not easy to remain true to yourself in times of confusion, but it is precisely in these times that true strength is revealed. The courage I ask of you is not the courage of aggression, but the courage of consistency. Not the courage of pride, but the courage of fidelity to inner truth. Do not be deceived by empty promises of instant happiness. Pleasure without awareness enslaves. Ambition without purpose tires. Soulless vanity sickens the heart. Learn to enjoy the world without becoming its prisoner. Use material things wisely, but do not allow them to govern your choices or determine your worth. When everything around you seems unstable, remember, what is fleeting does not deserve the dominion of your heart. Quiet your mind, observe your desires, and do not identify with them. You are greater than what you desire, greater than what you possess, greater than what the world says you should be. Walk with discernment, speak with truth, act with righteousness, even when it seems costly. He who remains faithful to Dharma does not depend on circumstances to be at peace. Even amidst chaos, he carries serenity. Even surrounded by lies, he remains in truth. Remember, my children, everything passes. Pain passes, glory passes, pleasure passes, suffering passes. But awakened consciousness traverses time without being lost. Strengthen yourselves in it. It is there that true happiness resides, the kind that cannot be bought, stolen, or destroyed. It is there that man finds himself and, in finding himself, is no longer lost in the world. My dear children, remain firm and awake, for these are times when confusion tries to pass itself off as truth and noise tries to replace wisdom. The world moves with haste, but without direction. Many run, few know where they are going. Therefore, I call you to be stronger and braver, not according to the standards of the world, but according to the lucidity of the Spirit. The strength I ask of you does not come from muscles or imposition, but from the capacity to remain whole when everything around you tries to fragment you. The courage I invite you to cultivate is not that which seeks to conquer the other, but that which refuses to betray one's own conscience. In a world where lies are repeated until they seem true, it takes courage to remain silent, observe, and choose the right path. I see how many believe that happiness lies in excess, in constant pleasure, in display and limitless conquest. They confuse joy with stimulation, love with possession, freedom with surrendering to desires. Lust promises satisfaction, but leaves exhaustion. Accumulation promises security, but generates fear of loss. Vanity promises value, but imprisons the heart to the opinions of others. All this shines for a moment and then fades. From my first teachings, I made it clear, everything that is born in the world of forms is transitory. Nothing that can be seen, touched, or bought remains. The body changes, emotions fluctuate, circumstances transform. Clinging to this is like trying to hold water in your hands. The more you squeeze, the more it escapes. Wisdom lies in learning to flow without getting lost. I do not ask you to reject the world, but not to be dominated by it. Live in it consciously, not with attachment. Use what is necessary, but don't confuse it with who you are. You are not your possessions, nor your desires, nor your titles. You are the consciousness that observes all of this arising and disappearing. Be strong to resist constant comparison, for it corrodes peace. Each soul walks at its own pace, faces its own trials, and carries its own lessons. Looking too much at the path of another makes one forget one's own. True courage lies in honoring one's own journey, even when it is solitary. Be brave enough to traverse pain without allowing it to harden you. Suffering is part of the human experience, but it doesn't need to become a permanent dwelling. When understood, it teaches. When resisted, it prolongs itself. Observe the pain, learn from it, and let it go. Do not transform wounds into identity. In the midst of chaos, cultivate discernment. Not everything that is said deserves to be absorbed, nor does everything that is offered deserve to be accepted. Learn to silence the mind, for it is in silence that truth is revealed. A restless mind confuses desire with need. A serene mind sees beyond illusions. Always remember, true happiness does not depend on favorable circumstances. It is born from the alignment between thought, action, and consciousness. When you live according to Dharma, even losses do not destroy you, and even victories do not enslave you. You act because it is right, not because you expect reward. The world will continue to offer shortcuts, quick promises, and empty pleasures. Do not be afraid of this. Just do not forget who you are. He who knows the fleeting nature of things no longer despairs when they are gone. He who knows his essence no longer gets lost in what shines. Walk with constancy. One conscious step is worth more than 1,000 hurried steps. Small choices made with truth transform entire destinies. Do not underestimate the power of daily consistency, of silent kindness, of the renunciation that is born of understanding and not of fear. When the world, if it seems too heavy, remember, none of this is eternal. Storms pass, nights end, cycles are fulfilled. What remains is the consciousness that learns, matures, and liberates itself. Strengthen yourselves in this truth, for it is an anchor amidst chaos and light amidst darkness. My beloved children, be stronger and more steadfast in me, my children. Do not allow fear, doubt, or weariness to dominate your hearts. Just as I was beside Arjuna on the battlefield when his soul trembled before the conflict and his mind was confused, I am beside you now. I did not abandon him when he doubted himself, and neither do I abandon you when you feel you are unable to continue. Arjuna was not born ready. He too knew fear, insecurity, and the weight of difficult choices. But when he decided to trust in me, when he surrendered his heart to truth and his actions to Dharma, I transformed him. Not just into a skilled warrior, but into a conscious, firm, lucid being aligned with your purpose. So too will I do with you. Trust, my children. When I ask you to be firm in me, I do not ask for blind submission, but awakened trust. To be firm in me is to be firm in the truth that dwells within you. It is to act even when the path seems uncertain. It is to advance even when the world tells you to give up. It is to keep your heart pure even when you are tempted to hardness. I will transform you not overnight, but step by step. Each fall will teach you something. Each pain will hone your conscience. Each conscious renunciation will strengthen your spirit. Do not despise the difficult processes, for they are what forge the true inner warrior. He who conquers himself is invincible before the world. Be firm when the mind attacks you with thoughts of inadequacy. These thoughts are not you. They are merely passing clouds. Observe them, but do not follow them. Remember who you are. You are much more than what you fear. Within you lies a strength that has not yet been fully revealed, and I am here to awaken it. Just as I taught Arjuna to act without attachment to the fruits, I teach you now. Do what is right, not for recognition, but for truth. The world may not understand your choices, it may even question your path, but he who walks in alignment with me does not get lost, even when walking alone. Be strong to resist distractions. Be firm so as not to compromise your values. Be constant even when results take time to appear. True growth happens in the invisible, in silence, in daily perseverance. What seems small today will become a solid structure tomorrow. I do not promise a path without battles, but I promise presence in all of them. I do not promise the absence of pain, but I promise meaning in every experience. I do not promise ease, but I promise transformation. If you remain steadfast in me, I will lead you to your best self, not the one the world applauds, but the one your conscience recognizes. Surrender your confusion to me, and I will give you clarity. Surrender your fear to me, and I will give you courage. Surrender your doubt to me, and I will give you discernment. Walk with me, and that which limits you today will become strength tomorrow. Remember, my child, I transformed Arjuna because he chose to trust, act, and remain faithful to the truth. So I will do with you. Be steadfast in me, and I will lead you to a version of yourselves that you do not yet know, but which already exists potentially within your hearts. I call you now to a steadfastness that does not waver according to circumstances, to a confidence that does not depend on what the eyes see, but on what the conscience recognizes. When everything seems uncertain, when the ground seems to tremble beneath your feet, it is precisely at that moment that you must remember, I am with you. Just as Arjuna found himself torn between duty and fear, so too do you face internal battles that no one else sees. There are silent struggles, weary thoughts, old wounds that insist on manifesting themselves. Do not think that this is a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is a sign that you are being prepared. No warrior is forged in constant tranquility. It is in the fire of trial that steel becomes firm. When Arjuna lowered his bow, I did not condemn him. I instructed him. I reminded him of who he was, of the purpose he carried, and of the strength that already existed within him. In the same way, when you feel like giving up, I do not judge you. I lift you up. I remind you that you are not the fear you feel, nor the doubt that visits you, nor the weariness that weighs you down. All of this passes. What remains is what I am awakening in you. Be strong in me so that you do not lose yourselves in the emotions that come and go. The mind wavers, the heart is sometimes confused, but the firm conscience observes without being dominated. Learning to remain centered amidst chaos is one of the greatest victories of humankind. And this victory begins when you trust in me more than in your own fears. I will transform you, my children, but not according to the image that the world imposes. I will not mold you to please crowds, nor to compete for recognition. I will mold you to be whole, lucid, and free. True transformation is not external. It happens when you stop reacting automatically and begin to act with wisdom. Every time you choose the truth when it would be easier to lie, you are being transformed. Every time you choose forgiveness when pride demands revenge, you are being strengthened. Every time you remain faithful to what is right, even when no one applauds, you are being honed as warriors of conscience. Do not be in a hurry. The time of the Spirit is not the time of human anxiety. Everything happens at the exact moment it can be sustained. If I were to reveal now all the strength you carry, perhaps you would not be ready to sustain it. Therefore, I guide you step by step, experience by experience, until you can walk firmly without losing yourselves in the power that will awaken within you. Be firm when the world provokes you to act with hatred. Be strong when they try to pull you towards superficiality. Be constant when discipline seems tiring. The true warrior fights not only against external enemies, but against dispersion, attachment, and illusion within himself. Remember, I taught Arjuna to act without attachment to the results, and this freed his mind. Do the same. Do not cling to the fear of failure nor to the obsession with success. Carry out your action with awareness and surrender, and let the rest unfold according to the higher law. He who acts in alignment with Dharma never acts in vain.